You're awesome.
All right. Get situated here. Hi, everybody. I see there's a couple of people, at least, well, there were a couple of people. Now I see just Carla, I think. So, hey, Carla. I want to welcome everyone and thank you all for tuning in. I see a couple more coming in. We're here today to talk about the Interested in Teaching Online self-paced course that we have available here at Open SUNY. We've made it a free and openly licensed self-paced course that anyone can use and access. And so this webinar is going to give a brief overview of this resource, just so that you know what's here and how you might be able to use it. Hey, I see some folks popping in, Robin and A. Samansky. As you pop in, if you wouldn't mind putting your name and campus in the chat so that we can see who you are and where you're from, that would be awesome. So we're here today to talk about the Interested in Online Teaching course. And this is a self-paced, free and openly licensed resource that we have made available. And we thought, you know, though this resource was not really intended for emergency remote teaching, we had this webinar planned and scheduled, and we thought that we would go ahead with it because there are some really good resources here, really good information here that we thought perhaps you as an instructional designer or you as an instructor might be able to make use of. So the first thing that I want to do is to acknowledge the folks that contributed to the development of this tool. There's been a number of people over the past couple of years that have contributed to the tool. And I just want to make sure to point them out and to highlight them. It was a collaborative effort over the course of a couple of years. Lots of volunteers from across our system that came together to try and understand what are the needs of faculty as they are considering developing an online course. What are, how can we help our instructional designers to be more effective and consistent in terms of the faculty development activities that they provide. And so we came up with a bunch of competencies, a list of competencies for those new to online. And we also worked with the instructional designer community to try and understand their lived experiences with providing online faculty development support. And one of the things that came out of that particular effort was that we understood that in training situations at our various campuses, we had a variety of faculty attempting or beginning their online faculty development experiences with all kinds of differing understandings about online teaching and learning, of a wide range of technical skills. So it wasn't a homogeneous group, and that makes it super hard to lead a training. And so this resource was developed in order to help create a foundation, sort of as a prerequisite for beginning any teaching online faculty development. And so we created this resource and made it available beyond SUNY so that anyone can use it however they would like. And so that's what I'm going to do, is give you an overview of the tool. so that you can see what's here and maybe consider how you might use it if you're an instructor yourself, or as an instructional designer, how you might use it as a component of your faculty development process or approach. So as I said, this Interested in Teaching Online is a free, openly licensed, self-paced online resource. It's designed to do a couple of things, a few things. It's designed to help you check your readiness, or to help faculty check their readiness to be successful teaching online. It's intended to review common terms related to online teaching and learning and sort of create that foundation of understanding, so that when we use certain terminology, jargon, acronyms, that we are all familiar with them and using them in the same way. So for example, when you say online teaching and learning, depending on what your pedagogical perspective is, that might mean something different to you than it might to me. So when I say it, I don't mean a MOOC, for example. So this tool was intended to review common terms related to online teaching and learning and develop sort of a foundational lexicon, a foundational understanding of the common terminology. It's also intended to make sure that you know what the core competencies are that are necessary to teach online, to explain the value of applied effective online teaching practices, and to give a little bit of a primer on that, a little foundation, not a lot, but a little bit, to provide an overview of the benefits and affordances of teaching online, and to help dispel some myths and misperceptions that might be out there, and to help faculty, to help you see if online teaching might be right for you. It was also intended to introduce folks to a community of practice, to an online teaching community of practice, where you might be able to meet others who are interested, and this is an optional component of this resource. You might be able to meet some others who are also interested and novices in online teaching and learning, and then network with folks who have more experience, so that you might be able to ask some questions, get some help, share some stuff that interests you, or some things that you might have learned or that you do in your own online teaching and learning. So those were all the sort of purposes behind the development of this tool. Like I said, it's really intended for anyone who's interested in learning more about online teaching. So it could, primarily we thought about faculty and instructional designers using this tool, but it could also be useful for administrators, for deans and department chairs, for librarians, technologists, faculty developers, and online student support staff, all in the effort to create some sort of foundational understanding and knowledge about what it means to teach and learn online. So that's all. So ideas for you to think about as you're looking at the resource. So let me give you a quick tour. There's two ways to engage in this with this tool. And if you go to that main page, and Erin's going to be popping some links for you in the chat, and the communication that went out had the link to this resource. So if you go to that main page, there are a couple of ways to interact with this self-paced resource. You have the option of following a more structured, mapped out journey, or you can explore all the same content by following your own meandering way. So it's just two metaphors that we thought that would be helpful in in navigating the content here. And it's set up as a self-paced course. It's really just a WordPress site with some plugins, but it really is intended to be self-paced and to allow you to navigate the content in two ways. As I said, both options are self-paced, and that obviously means that you can complete any of the activities in the course on your own and at your own pace. Nobody is checking, or there's no tracking of who is completing the activities and to what extent. So in the mapped out journey, it provides you with a formal path that guides you step by step in a logical way through the materials and the different activities and the different assessments. This page here that describes the mapped out journey also provides you with handy checklists, so that as you go through the materials, you can check off the things that you've completed. And if you stay in the same computer in the same browser, these check marks are held. They persist beyond sessions. So that's just an easy way to keep track of what you've completed in the course. The course, as you can see, begins with reviewing the readiness self-assessments that are available at the beginning of the trail of breadcrumbs. Ooh, that's the meandering way. So when you go to this page, the front page, the first breadcrumb is readiness, and when you click on that page, you get to the Ready to Teach Online set of resources. So this is kind of a companion site that is intended primarily for faculty to check their own technical skills to see if they are ready to teach online. So as an instructor or as an instructional designer, you could have your faculty come to this page and just check their technical skills. As I said, one of the pieces of information that informed the decision to create this resource was the appearance of a non-heterogeneous training group within our, reported by our campuses by the instructional designers or faculty developers, helping faculty to learn, to develop online courses. And so this is a handy way to help people, for example, check their computer skills. And it's just a little self-test, and they submit it, and if they don't check anything, it basically tells them to go to their generic campus help resource. So it's not specific to SUNY. It just says you should check in with the folks who support you and get some help with some of your basic computer skills before you continue on to develop an online course. So that readiness area, that readiness section collection of tools also provides a bunch of videos that are really, really good, high quality videos that we've collected from a variety of perspectives. So from administrators, from researchers, from faculty, and even down from instructional designers, and even down here from students. These guys over here are students. And so you can really hear from straight from whoever's mouth some really good insights and information about various topics regarding online teaching and learning. The students I like because they talk about some of the things they like about online learning and course designs and faculty facilitation, and some of the things that they don't. So it's kind of informative in that way. We developed a video to try and address the common myths and misperceptions that folks have about online teaching and learning. And so that's also, a way to kind of get ready as an instructor to see, we know that instructors have a lot of questions and concerns and maybe trepidations about teaching online. And so these kind of, this video is intended to dispel some of the common myths that we've seen. And then we also have videotaped some testimonials from our own online online instructor community. And these are faculty who are really enthusiastic about teaching online. And so this is a collection of videos, video testimonials from some of our exemplar online faculty talking about why they love to teach online. So this resource also has one of those handy dandy checklists so that it can track what you've done on this page, on this section of the site, and what you still need to complete. And then it, when you've completed everything, it directs you back to the course so that you can continue on your journey. All right, let's see. So as I mentioned, you can do it, with your mapped out journey. You can also do it as a meandering path. So as I said, this is just simply a website that has content, and it's set up with a couple of plugins that will allow you to do a couple of things. But it's basically a website. And so for the meandering way, if you already know a little bit or some about, you have some experience with online teaching and learning, you can just come here and randomly pick any topic that you might be interested in and take a look and see if the content is new to you or interesting to you or helps you in some way, and then just kind of pick and choose in how your own meandering way how you'd like to navigate and engage and review the materials. There's nothing that says that you have to go through it all or that tracks or checks that. What I will say in terms of the design of the modules, there's three modules, three content modules: the landscape, the competencies, and the effective practices. And each module, as you can see, begins with an overview. And the overview just presents consistently. Each module has this overview, and it presents the objectives. It presents you with things to do and to review, and it provides you with an optional activity to join a conversation, an asynchronous conversation with folks who are also interested and with some folks who have some more experience. So folks from our community that are interested in continuing to chat about this, or who have some expertise and are willing to share and mentor others. So every one of the modules begins with the overview and then proceeds with some content. And the content modules, we try to make them engaging. Some of it is presenting information. Some of them provide some videos. Here's where we talk about the distinction between traditional online learning and the MOOCs. So, here we talk about the myths, and then all of the content modules have that option to join a asynchronous conversation. And then we also provide, for those folks who might be interested in going deeper into that particular area of content, some additional resources and links to explore. So all of the content modules basically present content in some way or another. I had mentioned that there was a glossary or some sort of a way to address the definitions of terms. So we have a glossary set up in here where you can come in and check out, some of the jargon and some of the common terminology that is used in our online and teaching and learning world. And then, as I said, we also have collected videos from folks from around our system talking about various topics that are relevant to folks who are thinking about teaching online or trying to understand it better. And here we have a collection of videos on why should I teach online and what excites you about online learning, delivering a course, and advice from online students. And you can see it's sort of like a consistent structure to the modules. So the same is true in the other content modules, as you can see with these drop-down menu items. I want to point out that every module has a way for you to self-assess your own understanding of the content, and so it just presents you with a little mini self-assessment quiz that you can do whenever you like, and then submit it, and it'll just let you know if you have more things to explore, or how well you did. It's pretty open, in terms of the feedback. No one's checking this. This isn't being collected. It's simply a way for folks who are actually engaging with these materials to do their own self-assessment. You can do these as often as you like. You could just go through the modules and just do the quizzes if you wanted, just to check your own understanding based on the content that's presented here. So you really can do this in any way, and complete it at your own pace and in any order that you like. Similar to in the mapped out journey, the ways to engage with the content, you can use that tracking document from the mapped out journey. If you're kind of skipping around, you can still use that mapped out journey checklist to check what you've done, just to keep track for yourself if you like. Yeah, and as I said, both of the options cover all of the same content, all the same information. From both options, you have the same resources and the same opportunities to engage in those optional conversations that I mentioned, and of course, to check your understanding with the self-assessments. So let me show you the conversations, just so that, let's get over there. I think it's here, and you find that here under the navigation bar here that says conversations. You'll get to this page, and this page will ask you to click on a link and sign up to join the Interested in Online Teaching community of practice that is open to anyone regardless of your affiliation to SUNY. So if those of you who are on this call, are not from SUNY and are interested in continuing this conversation beyond the end of this webinar, you could hop over here, and Erin's going to putting the links in the chat. You could hop over here and join this network, and then join this group for folks who are interested in online teaching and learning, to continue this conversation if you wanted. So again, this is an optional activity, and the instructions are all here. It's pretty basic. The links are here to get over here to join the networking site. In addition to the optional conversations that you can have, if you're interested in getting a badge, collecting a badge, we have that option available. Again, you navigate to that from the navigation bar up here, and that brings you to this page that explains how to collect your badge. And in order to collect the badge, you'll have to submit some evidence that you have completed and understand the materials and content that's presented here. And so it's going to ask you a couple of questions and check to see if you've done a couple of the activities that we would like you to do. And then in a kind of open-ended way, it just asks you to provide some overview of what you learned from the course. And then when you hit submit on this, it will give you a claim code for your badge, and this is the badge. It's provided through Credly, and so in order to collect your badge, you would need to create an account in Credly, and then come, you get to this page and it'll ask you to enter the claim code that gets supplied when you hit submit on the badging page over here when you submit this. Then it'll give you a claim code, and then you enter that claim code here and claim your code, and then you get your badge, which you can then share. If you are an instructional designer and you want to use this resource as a tool as part of your online faculty development process, you can ask your faculty to share their badges with you so that you can look and review and vet their evidence. And so that I've seen folks from our community use it in that way. So that's one way that you could implement this as part of your online faculty development activities. So let's see. Oh, I mentioned, or I don't know if I mentioned, but maybe in the promotion for this webinar, we mentioned that there is a flyer. So as an instructional designer, if you wanted to promote your own faculty using this resource, we've created this PDF for you that you can then send in an email to your faculty or print out and put up in your office if you wanted to promote the use of the resource. I'm going to pause for a second and see if we have any questions in the chat about how this is being used, how you might use it, any of the content that's left.
And I've also set the permissions so that you can unmute your microphone if you'd like to speak and ask a question.
Awesome. So I'm just going to keep talking. If you want to interrupt, I'd be happy to take any questions, but I'm going to keep talking because I want to be conscious of our time. I want to invite you all to join our community of practice, and it's easy enough. You would just come here and click this link, interested in online enabled education, and give us your name and your email address, and non-SUNY people can just say, that they're not from SUNY, and then we'll add you to our list of communications, and you'll get emails. For example, this webinar, you would get an email that says that we're doing a webinar on a variety of topics. This is just one of the topics that we cover, and we have a variety of things that we think would be of interest to folks who are interested. We have a monthly Gazette, which is a curated online newsletter that we do that we think would be of interest, and a number of other activities and events and resources that we make available. And so you might want to sign up to continue to be able to get some of those, that information and resources. I also wanted to mention that we have some video playlists that you might be able to use in a variety of ways. If you're an instructional designer, for example, you could take any of these videos or the playlists that we've created and use them in your own faculty development content as is, or you can use individual videos or the playlists as a whole. I just wanted to point out the broader playlist and the different topics that you might be interested in. And none of these resources were created. They were all created prior to the emergency remote teaching and circumstances that we're currently all finding ourselves in. This was all created prior. We've been working with online faculty for more than 20 years. But many of these resources, I think there might be some information that's relevant and interesting and useful to new online faculty. For example, here, topics and ideas for new online faculty. There are, effective practices. There are, if you're new to supporting online faculty, there's playlists of that. And these are just folks from our own internal SUNY community that we have collected resources, video testimonials, and interviews with over the years. The ideas for engagement is an interesting one. Assessment of online learning is an interesting one. The relationships collection is also really good. So I just encourage you to come and browse the playlists that we have here if you're looking for something in particular. I think that's all the resources that I have to show you and the information that I have. I'm happy to take any questions. We're at time. It's 12:30 on the nose. Thanks, Erin, for keeping me real here. I appreciate you tuning in and hope that this was interesting and informative and helpful to you. I would love to know where you are from and what campus you're from. Oh, I see Carla's from St. Bonaventure. And we have a friend from Old Westbury School of Business. Cool. And Robin, of course, I know. So I appreciate you tuning in this time that we know that we're all going through, which is incredibly, hectic and in many ways stressful and overwhelming, both professionally and personally. So, oh, Suzanne, hi, from Farmingdale. Cool. And Giselle, cool. I didn't know. I can't see who everybody is, but I'm so happy to have you here from Monroe and from Farmingdale. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you are all well. And Sandeep from Old Westbury, I hope you keep well, and I hope you found this helpful. And Jessica from Oswego, awesome. So please, keep in touch, and if there's something that you need, don't hesitate. Erin, maybe you could pop the COVID resources into the chat so that folks know from SUNY. This is really from SUNY for SUNY folks, just FYI. We have some resources for faculty and for students that we are supporting here at System Administration. So yeah, there they are. Thank you, Erin. So I'll let you go. I'll stay here. If anyone has any specific questions, I'm happy to chat with anyone. If you have any thoughts or suggestions or questions, I'm happy to chat. Otherwise,